sweet. Should we give people like 2 more minutes to come in, or should we just start?
I think we can start.
Okay.
Right. I want to test you. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Cool. Okay, maybe before we start, I'm going to do a quick poll of like where people's levels are. Maybe can we get like a raise of hand if you've like heard of ZK email before? Okay, maybe like half the people. Okay, and then like a raise of hand if you've like ever like programmed with ZK before, like you understand ZK, know ZK. Okay, so not too much ZK experience. Raise your hand if you like know Solidity. Okay, it's more than half. And then maybe raise your hand if you don't yet have like a confirmed 100% project idea you're really excited about for the Invisible Garden yet. Maybe one person. Okay, sweet. And then, cool. Okay, so in that case, we'll probably orient a little bit around understanding what it is for the half of people who have never seen it before, and then we'll go into like making your own proofs. And because most folks don't have like a bunch of ZK experience, we'll do like a kind of more intuitive, okay, like how do we define the parameters and then have it automatically generate for us. And then maybe we'll even go into like a Solidity section where we explain like how you can add ZK email to your Solidity contracts in an easy way. And hopefully that'll cover both sides of things, like adding ZK email on your like front end or on your application that's not Solidity, and adding ZK email on your application that is Solidity. Sweet. Okay, so this is going to be structured roughly like I spend 15 minutes yapping and then we start coding, more or less. Sweet. Okay. Great. So yeah, I'm Aayush. This is John. Sweet. And we're mostly going to talk about ZK email and what that unlocks and why that's far more interesting than just emails. Sweet. So I guess the high level primitive here, like what is actually going on, is that all of your emails, also, is this like, can people in the back see this? Is this like, the contrast is good? Okay. So all of your emails are signed according to this protocol called DKIM. And what DKIM is that every email that you've ever sent or received, in order to be received by the recipient, has to pass this digital signature. And what it is that sent emails will have the email sender RSA sign the SHA-256 of all the information in the email. So they'll hash the from, the to, the subject, and the body hash, which is a SHA-256 of the body. And all of that, once it's hashed, is going to be signed by the RSA private key of that domain. So if I send from Gmail, Gmail's private key is going to sign that email message, and then the recipient is going to verify, did Gmail's private key actually sign this message? Should I be accepting this mail or not? Is it spoofed or not? This is kind of how you get like email authentication. Now, the really cool thing is you can stick this whole thing into a ZK proof. So now you can verify the RSA signature, the SHA-256 hashing, and even a regex on top of the data you do and don't want to reveal, and then selectively disclose different parts of the email, and in fact have arbitrary operations over it. Okay, so this seems simple, but it's surprisingly powerful, and if you want to get the RSA public key, you can go here or to our archive or our on-chain smart contract. So the kind of thing that we probably want to orient around here on like what are the kinds of applications we can build, what are the new things that are unlocked, we like to generally call it portable programmable provenance or something like that, which is that it's provenant because you're verifying the data directly from the mail service. There's no third-party Oracle network, there's no notary in the middle, there's no MPC going on. We're literally directly saying, did Gmail send you this email or not? Did Proton Mail send you this email or not? Did Coinbase send you this email or not? And they are the people signing the email. Okay, and then programmable. So we can kind of arbitrarily define statements on top of it, like you might imagine for any other ZK proof. So we can say, oh, I want to hide the sender, and I want to hide most of the information in the subject except for this one word. And the amount in the body, I only want to reveal if it's more than 10, or something like that. And you can define this kind of arbitrarily complex logic on top of this already validated data. And we can do this via regexes to extract information, substring to extract information, or even just plain arithmetic operations on top of these things, like to do the more than 10 example, for instance. Okay, and then portable, you can verify this off-chain or on-chain, and we have like tooling for all of that, so it should be fairly easy to get that up and running. Cool, okay, so maybe to run our imaginations, I'll give like a couple examples of things you might be able to build, and then we'll go into potentially building one of our own. Okay, so one of the like very early examples we built was like a proof of Twitter on-chain. So normally to get proof of Twitter on-chain, you need some third party to say, oh yeah, this person logged in with Twitter on my website, or this person owns this Twitter account. How could you do this in like a provenant way where Twitter verifies that you own the Twitter account on chain? Well, you can prove you got any Twitter password reset email or any Twitter notification email. And if you prove that, it turns out your username is at the bottom in like a little section. And what you can do is you can effectively say, I'm going to parse out this email, and I'm going to regex only that Twitter username out. I'm going to hide everything else. And now you can imagine you can verify this directly on chain and prove, hey, like I've in fact verified my Twitter username on chain. And you can do this for lots of different things. You can do this for GitHub. You can do this for any social media handle that is connected to your email. One cool thing that ZK built is basically you can prove confirmation emails. So this can look like payments. So one example they had until recently was basically Venmo, where you could prove, hey, I can prove that I sent or received a Venmo transaction. And this allows me to then trigger or gate an on and off ramp contract. And so you can imagine that this is basically the idea that you can say, if Venmo goes from person A to person B, then that authorizes a smart contract to send USDC from person B to person A. And only if the ZK proof passes will that money unlock. And so you can imagine you can build like these kind of permissionless marketplaces on top of this, where now you have like payment going one way and crypto going the other way, or even more interesting things like they also have like, turns out you can do this with domains. You can prove, hey, a domain went one way and Namecheap sent me a confirmation email. And so now crypto is going to go the other way, and they can only unlock that crypto if they prove they transfer the domain. So this is quite interesting because you can kind of now, any service that sends any kind of confirmation email, you can build a market on top of it. And we'll kind of show you roughly how to build this sort of thing yourself as well via the SDK and the Solidity stuff. But just to kind of run your imagination on the different kinds of things that are possible. There's a cool set of use cases where you like gate group chats by ZK proof. You say, oh, like if you rented an Airbnb in Chiang Mai and you can prove you have that confirmation email, then you can enter the group chat of all the builders in Chiang Mai who are expats or something like that. And you can build these kind of arbitrary things based on emails you can find in your inbox. Sweet. So maybe now's a good time to move into how would you actually make these proofs yourself. So what we've done is we've got this website, sdk.proof.email. If people want to go there really quick, I will switch to it here. Okay, so the high-level idea here is that this makes it really, really easy to define a new kind of ZK proof. So for instance, this is one of the things that John just submitted, and the idea is that you're going to submit a Grab receipt of ordering a pad thai. And some of that you're going to only reveal publicly you ordered a pad thai from Grab, and you're not going to reveal anything else. You're not going to reveal your name, you're not going to reveal how much you paid for it, nothing. And it's super simple. You can see the only thing, this is visible in the back, right? It's like gray on black. I hope it's still. Okay, so the only thing you're going to say is like, we're going to give it a name. We're going to say, look, I'm going to prove that I got a pad thai, and here we're revealing ad thai, but ideally you'd reveal pad thai. But yeah, anyways, and then we're going to say, okay, the length of thing we're going to reveal, where we're going to find it, the body, the subject, the from, the to, whatever, and the sender domain, so grab.com in this case. And then our compiler in the back end will be like, okay, looks good. I'm going to create the circuit for this. And you can see there's a little like hourglass here. And so what's happening here is that in the background, we are automatically generating that Circom circuit for you. Eventually, it'll also do Noir, SP1, everything else. And we're deploying it automatically on chain. And so, yeah. Yeah.
Why there is two parts, one's regex, the P private.
Yeah, so why is this separated? This is mostly separated just to show you that you can have private and public parts. Like here we're hiding P, but we're showing add tie. But obviously in a real use case, you would maybe like hide everything or you would maybe hide everything and reveal pad tie, all of pad thai or something like that. And you can see in some of our other proofs, if we go to like proof of GitHub username, we notice that in OAuth emails, they say, hey, username, comma. And so this is maybe a better example where similarly we say from github.com, if it starts with hey, and this is not revealed, and then your username, which is revealed, which is any character except an exclamation point and an exclamation point. And then if you say it in the body, then we'll parse out that username and make it public. Sweet. And then, okay, so
maybe,
go ahead.
Can you maybe talk about how these parameters, how they're being generated again?
Yeah, so the way this is how you're actually going to generate these parameters, you're going to go to like submit a new pattern. And let's give this a second to load. Cool. And now you can see, like, for instance, with a Twitter sample, it's going to, like, if I fill it with the sample, you can see roughly how you specify. We explain, like, each thing and what it should be. And then at the end, once you click compile, it'll compile it. And this isn't going to work because we already have a Twitter example, so you kind of have to write your own. But OK, so two tools we're going to use here is we're going to try to get everybody to basically first spend a few minutes, like, look in your inbox and find an interesting email. And we'll kind of go around and help you and be like, OK, like, what is some curious, interesting email we can get here? And then we're kind of going to go around and help folks come up with this configuration. And so we have a ChatGPT bot that also helps you. We've loaded in a bunch of context of existing patterns, and you can put in your pattern and be like, is this correct? How can I generate a pattern to extract this thing? And the ChatGPT bot will lead you through it, which is quite nice. I'll put a link to that up on the screen in a second. But until then, it's a good time. Look through your email. Be like, is there any interesting email I can make a proof about? And maybe it's relevant to your project. Maybe it's just something that's interesting. And that's the goal is by the end of this workshop, everybody has started making a proof. And then on the website, it'll take a few hours to compile all the backend stuff, but you can at least try some of the other proofs in the meantime. OK, sweet. So there's a good time to pull out your phone, look at your inbox, find an interesting email. Until then, I'll get the ChatGPT bot for us.
Cool. Yeah, I just put the ChatGPT helper in the Learn and Share channel in Discord, so you can find the link there as well.
And I'll put a QR code on the screen as well.
So the GitHub blog would be good to do an example on the screen.
Yep.
If you want to do that.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let me do a quick QR code generator. Great. Yeah, right now folks are mostly just going through their email and finding an interesting email they want to make a proof of, and then we're going to help guide everyone through making a new kind of proof about that email. So this is like totally like non-technical. Like even if you have no clue what ZK is, this should be super approachable.
Just from the existing use cases, is there already a use case written like proving that you were rejected on DEF CON?
Yep. So maybe this is like a good example also for me to show. Is I'll show our DevCon rejection pattern. So I mean, you can see a bunch of the proofs that we have on the website if you kind of scroll to the bottom. But actually, the DevCon rejection one is a really good email. So let me pull that one up. OK, sweet. So you can see here we unfortunately have a DevCon rejection email. And so what we wanted to do is prove that you have this kind of email and reveal only the talk title. So kind of you'd imagine that once you found an email, I'm going to be like, well, OK, I want to hide update on your DevCon proposal and then show the name of the proposal and then maybe say, reveal my name. So I'll reveal, I'm Aayush and my thing got rejected. Or you can hide that if you want. It doesn't matter too much. And so you can sort of see this in the configuration on the website. If I you can see the recipient name. This is exactly that field, that hi section I talked about, where we say, look, is public false for hi, and is public true? So we're going to reveal anything except a comma, and then we're going to stop at the comma. And so now this will reveal my name. And then for the proposal title, we'll say, your proposal, and then anything except the end quote, and then that will be revealed. And then the rejection line, make sure it's a rejection, not an acceptance. We regret to inform you. You need to check that that's in the email. Sweet. So maybe let's go through. Okay, maybe raise your hand if you found an email in your inbox that you want to make a proof of. Okay, maybe raise your hand if you're still looking for that kind of email. We can give people like a minute or two more.
So the proof of DevCon doesn't work, it stops working, according to Saul.
So it worked though like 2 hours ago.
It works like yesterday for me.
Okay.
Actually, it's been updated now.
So this morning we updated it.
GitHub works fine.
Oh, you tried the DevCon one recently, or?
Saul just said it was like he pushed an update or something to do with like
The comma?
comma or something. And, like,
But that should work, right? Didn't work?
that's what Saul said. It basically wasn't working, so we could try it, and then if not, we can just do the GitHub one.
It's because you put a space here, that's why.
Okay.
Typo.
The JSON that you show us, you didn't show the actual proof, right?
I mean, we can show the actual proof. So if you actually go into here and you try it out, you'll basically log in with Google, and then I log in, I select, okay, this is my email where I got stuff rejected. And then it'll automatically show me the 2 talks that got rejected for me. And I'll just select, this is the one I want to prove, the one about this proposal. And then once I click create proof remotely, then one of these jobs will start. And then once it finishes, then you'll get like proofs down here. And you can view the proof itself, you can view the public output, you can view what you need to call the smart contract to make it pass, and you can even hit like verify. Once I connect my wallet, I can hit verify on chain and then it'll verify.
What happens if I change like the JSON fields?
Yeah, so if you try to prove, you try to fake a proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I try to fake this proof and I say, oh, actually my talk title is this, then you'll notice that the public output won't correspond to the ZK proof, and so it'll fail. And so only exactly precisely the text from the email is the only text that will be valid in the public inputs that allow that proof to pass. Sweet. Okay. Pull this up. Okay, so if people want to scan the code on the left, that's where the registry is that everybody's going to and adding a new pattern. If people want to go to the link on the right, that's the ChatGPT bot where you paste in your email and you're like, how do I make a proof now? And I'll walk people through how we use this ChatGPT bot in like a second. I'll let people scan this first.
Can you just spell the URL of the next one?
The URL is like a long ChatGPT URL, so I would recommend just scanning the QR code.
Yeah, if you go to learn and share.
I can make like a tiny URL or something. It's yes.
Learn and share channel.
Yep. Maybe I'll even put that on the whiteboard. Cool. Okay, so I am going to go through this process as well with you guys. And let me pull out an email. I could probably pull out a random email. Okay, sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove that I took a Bolt trip. And so, okay, how are we going to like generate this new proof? Okay, first I'm going to think about, okay, what are the kind of values I want to reveal? Maybe I'll reveal the date that I took the ride. It's kind of a short thing, it's easy. And so I'm going to basically say, okay, I'm going to prove that I took a Bolt trip on 7th of October. So how am I going to do this? So if you're using Gmail, on the top right, you'll have 3 dots, which are like view raw email. So you'll see like show original here. If you're in Outlook, you'll see a similar thing, which is like show original message or view original message. So now if I hit that, and this is the only thing you have to do as somebody who's creating a new kind of proof. When you're actually making the proof, you just log in with your email. Okay, sweet. Raise your hand if you've been able to view the original email, like you're on this page that shows you the raw email. Okay, some people aren't following along. Do you wanna help, like, maybe walk around and check, like, if people are
Did you
doing
say
stuff?
Gabby got here?
Yeah, put your hand up if you need help and
Yeah.
you want to follow along and you're not at this stage yet.
Okay, I think we should just proactively.
Everyone who wants to take part is taking
Okay,
part. Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, so how I got there, show original, yeah.
So I am sharing my personal data on like this ChatGPT server. Like, the email is personal.
Fair enough. You can redact it always. You can go in and be like, you know, Command F my name and change it to XXX and it'll be totally fine. Like it doesn't, yeah, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. The ChatGPT bot is just to help you. If you don't need the ChatGPT bot, you can also just go totally mentally, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay.
So we need the raw source, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna get this raw source, and in my case, this like massive piece of HTML. Right. So at this stage, I can now either download original and copy from there, or I can just hit copy to clipboard. And now I'm going to head to the ChatGPT bot. So let me go here. Okay, sweet. All right, so let's create a new pattern. Okay. Sweet. Let's copy this again. Okay, cool. So what I've just done is in ChatGPT, I've pasted that whole email, and I've said, look, this is my email. I want to extract information from the body about the date of the ride. Cool. Okay, and it used some kind of complex syntax, like it has this kind of D12 syntax, so I'm going to ask it to not use any kind of complex look around logic instead. Cool, okay. This seems like too specific, but okay, seems good enough for us to at least start. Okay, so now I can kind of start filling in these values that the bot gave me into the like pattern where I want to define. Okay, so let's go back and define a pattern. Proof of Bolt ride. Okay, description, use a Bolt email to prove I took a ride in. I'll just say prove I took a ride. Okay. Workshops / proof of Bolt. Sweet. Okay, are people like, do people kind of have people, raise your hand if you've been able to like copy the EML file and put it in the ChatGPT bot and get some response? Okay, only 2 or 3 folks. Yeah, what's up? Processing, okay.
Could you share the ChatGPT bot QR code again?
Yeah, this is the QR code. It's also in #learn and share in your guys' Discord for Invisible Garden. The SDK is on the left, the ChatGPT bot's on the right. Yep.
The fields that I want to extract will be what I can see, yeah?
Yeah, so let me explain how we're going to get these fields. So, okay, so you're talking about like these fields like tags, email query, etc. Or you're talking about the regex?
Sorry. Yeah.
So you're saying like